public. Anyway, when I first began writing a speech, I found it to be quite difficult. Indeed, the whole process reminded me of being back at school. So much so that I found myself longing for the help of my best high school teacher, who was Matthew Vanderpeet. And so, stuck for ideas, I found myself thinking, what would Matt do? Matt, I thought, would look to his best friend for help. So I too went to the internet for guidance. On the web, I found a site that specialised in helping people with their various wedding speeches. This site advised that I should research what other events had transpired on the wedding date and allude to them in an attempt to create an amusing contrast or context. On this day 13 years ago, there was a passenger train derailment in Delhi, killing 31 people. Personally, I didn't find this very amusing, but the website assured me it would be a killer. I'm sorry, you're right. It's a horrible way to die. It's not funny. Pushing on, the website then offered a series of staple best man jokes that were sure to win any audience over, such as: husbands are like wine grapes. You have to stamp them down if you ever hope to turn them into something you'd like to have dinner with. Wives are like a fine wine. As they mature, they become full-bodied until eventually they turn and go sour. I'm sorry, it's been such an emotional day, even the cake is in tears. Needless to say, when I found the deadly crane trash to be more amusing than any of the suggested jokes, I began to doubt the authority of this purportedly funny website. That's when I realised perhaps humour wasn't the way to go. After all, we were talking about Matt. Matt is a man of science, a man of facts, a man of numbers. This is a man who, completely unsurprisingly, was marrying the daughter of his physics teacher. That is a little funny. Now, if I was going to give a speech that would appease Matt, I would need some facts and numbers of my own. So I did some research. Firstly, you'll be pleased to hear, the old statistics that one in two marriages fail isn't true. The real figure is closer to 45% of marriages fail. Even then, the average length of marriage before it hits the rocks is 7 years and 3 months. So you've got some time on your hands there. But then, how could this wonderful partnership fail, I hear you ask, and it's a fair question. Well, for men, lack of sex remains the most cited factor in a relationship. A worrying thought when 44% of married people say that their sex lives have decreased since marriage, while a further 1 in 10 married couples have no sex at all. Interestingly, there is also increasing evidence that lack of sex is a significant cause of prostate cancer. Now, if these figures are to be taken to heart, as I'm sure they will be by at least half the audience here, we can infer that marriage doubles one's chances of prostate cancer. Figures that are frighteningly comparable to smoking, with only 1 in 2 smokers actually contracting cancer at some point. And yet the wedding dresses don't come with a warning label. Anyhow, that 44% figure is only one of the leading reasons for divorce. The others are a little more complicated, so I've employed another Matticism here to keep things clear. 1 he illustrates, sex, infidelity, and falling out of love are the primary reasons for divorce. 1 in 5 women cite a serious incident of abuse as the reason for the relationship breakdown. 1 in 3 men are currently bored with their wife in marriage. And something like 25% of marriages break up because of infidelity. So if we combine this with our earlier insight that most marriages encounter problems 7 years on, see here. So, yeah, what was I saying? Where was I? So, as we can see here, by May 2014, there's a 20% chance that Erin will have been a victim of serious abuse. A 33% chance that Matt will be bored of Erin, and a 44% chance that both parties will be bored of sex. Now, if my maths is right, and it was Matthew Van Der Peet that taught me maths, that's a 97% chance of trouble. Now I know what you're thinking, why is Will giving such a depressing speech? Well, I am, because if Matt and Erin really love each other, all is not lost. These odds can be switched and greatly stacked in Matt and Erin's favour by just taking a few simple steps. Firstly, I implore Matt and Erin to convert to Islam. Even in Singapore, where many Muslims have feared the divorce rate to be too high, the figures still only stand at 9 divorces for every 1,000 marriages, as is demonstrated in this one. Secondly, if Matt and Erin really want to make this last, they should move to India, as India stands as the surveyed country where divorce remains the least likely outcome, with only 1.1% of marriages ending in divorce. If these simple steps are followed, we should be able to rest easy knowing that tonight we have witnessed a beautiful union sure to last, as is illustrated in my final diagram. Not that diagram. That diagram. A successful and happy one, I suggest a toast. 3 toasts. To Matt, you are marrying a beautiful, intelligent, gracious, and obviously patient woman. To Erin, you are marrying Matthew Van Der Peet. And lastly, to marriage, a wonderful institution. And who better to be institutionalized than Matt and Erin?